Hello everybody, my name is Coco and welcome to At the Facts. We don't speak English, let's speak facts! Sorry about that, I'm just so hyped for Eurovision. Anyways, let's answer some questions. A lot of them involve shipping for some reason, so no shipping wars in the comments! Hey, what do you think of what happened to Native America? I don't think that there was a Native America. Weren't the tribes all separate nations? That all went to war with each other? Aren't there a lot of tribes still alive today? They each have their own language and cultures, so I think each tribe would be a separate nation if I'm not mistaken. How would you characterize and design Poland since it is your country? Why does everyone think I'm from Poland? Just because I'm Polish doesn't mean I'm from Poland. As seen throughout history, Poles like to leave Poland. But first of all, you could keep Poland just the way he is if you gender bend him. Honestly, I have conflicting feelings on Poland's design. If we have to keep it male, I would suggest that to make Poland more religious and stingy. Drop the cross-dressing. Good God. Poland is super Catholic. And drop the whole Valley Girl thing, please. The Poles I grew up with were incredibly serious people. They do not take jokes very well at all. And that is why I love to make fun of them so much.
Which African country do you think will come next?
I think South Africa will come next because I think we may have gotten a preview of him recently.
Do you think Hema would make an episode about the Civil War and maybe include the Confederacy being America's abusive brother and America standing up to him? Honestly, I have the whole plot planned.
I really don't think so. Assuming you are referring to the American Civil War, I don't think that the Confederate States of America will be coming in anytime soon because I just don't think that's something that Hema would like to make a comic about. Right now he's on Hetalia, so I think he's more on a kind of a light and fluffy kind of mindset at the moment.
Now I have other question about Anastasia and Mulan.
Anastasia was part of the royal family, I assume that's what you're referring to. So I could imagine Russia must have been devastated when the royal family was slaughtered. And Hua Mulan is treated more like a legend more than a real woman. It's possible that she may be based off of a real person, but I think if so, China's relationship to her would be similar to France and Jeanne d'Arc.
How come Seaborga has a personification? Seaborga isn't actually a micronation. They only think that they are. How come San Marino in Vatican City isn't a personification? They are actual micronations.
I think you are confused. San Marino and Vatican City are actual countries. They are just really small. Seaborga is a micronation. Why do you think Romano was so grumpy? Because he knows who his grandfather is and not his actual father.
Where in Europe are you from?
I can't tell you that. That would be no fun. What do you think of the Latin Hetalia community? Have you got any favorite country from it? If so, why?
What Central American countries would you want in Hetalia?
I would like to, first of all, make fricking Mexico. Panama would be pretty nice too. You could do a whole sketch on the Panama Canal. Jamaica and the Dominican Republic I think would be fun to portray too. But I actually have an expectation for only one character, Costa Rica. Whether you make them male or female, you have to make them physically attractive. Costa Rica is known worldwide for its beauty. After seeing it for myself, I have to agree. This character would be the character that gives nosebleeds to other characters and is unbelievably sparkly and attractive. While I would advocate more for female characters, I think a male Costa Rica would do well here.
Who do you think is a Mary Sue says Gary Stew in Hetalia?
Going off your definition, I honestly don't think that there are any in Hetalia, except maybe for Estonia since Hema based him off himself.
Do you think that Canada is more rebellious than America?
Not at all! America fought for its freedom and Canada politely asked for it.
And what do you think of Canada and the Netherlands? Or Spain's ass?
Damn, his ass is so hot. I have a hard time shipping Netherlands with anyone. I don't know why. I just can't understand his character. I mean, I want to, but for some reason I just can't. And I've never really been an ass person. What are your favorite rare pairs? What is your favorite crack pairing?
Is there any crack pairing you like? For example, Austria times Taiwan, Nordic times inanimate objects, or Russia times Zealand?
Well, my OTP is kind of a rare pair, but it's not a crack pair. I'm not really in love with anything too rare. Oh, Finland and Estonia! Don't get me wrong, I love Sufin, but Estonia deserves some love from time to time. And there isn't enough of the three-way that is Lietbel Pol. I want it to be a thing. As for crack pairs, I don't really have any. Oh, Turkliet. And since it is now officially canon. And maybe Bulgaria times stick.
How do you think the French Revolution would have been portrayed?
France probably would have gotten very sick like any other nation would. Not to mention, emotionally scarred.
Do you have any further opinions or any headcanons about APH Philippines?
Maybe a bit of stigma against the United States? I don't know that much about the Philippines. Once again, that perceived design of the Philippines is just an old design of Vietnam.
Sorry to bother you, but do you think Hema is going to put England's brothers in the manga or in the next season? Keep up the good work.
Well, they are definitely not going to make it into the next anime season. All we have is their designs, like just their heads. If I am right, we will get an Ireland soon. Then I think we will finally see them all. Do you think that the Yugoslav states, except for Croatia, will get a character? We got Serbia, sort of. Oh, and we still don't know who this guy is. Why you ship Frog? Why not US UK? It just doesn't give me that thrill I get from other ships. You know that feeling you get when you see your OTP? You get this jolt of energy and you can't stop smiling and you kind of want to laugh and squeal. US UK has never given me that. Lietbel and Litpol just happen to do that to me. For Fruck, I ship it because I like the idea of a long rivalry eventually becoming love. I think it's just cute. Plus, I'm a fan of the whole face thing. I have never shipped US UK. I just really like the family love more than I like the romantic love. I just like seeing them in nice brotherly moments. Do you think Italy was going to be the first main character, or was Himaruya going to put in another country as the main character? As cool and interesting as that would be, there has been nothing released on the matter, though still, sometimes I wonder. I like the countries as people idea, but for now a main character. I know! I will make England a tsundere, and I will make the entire series about him being a tsundere. It will focus on him and the allies, and we can have the rest of the UK and Ireland be in there too. And it shall be called Igirisun. Igiritsun. No, wait. That sounds stupid. In England, it is boring. Oh, I can have this series focus on the Soviet Union. Yes, the drama. I can make Russia a Dorodere and make the entire series about him, the Allies and the USSR. And it shall be called Doroshia. Doroshia. Wait, no. No one knows what a Dorodere is. Why does Romano like tomatoes? Because of Spain's influence. How old is Liechtenstein? She is physically 15. Okay, for all these people asking me if I think blank will ever become canon, we are shipping countries. Nothing will ever be canon unless the actual countries unite in real life. Sorry to burst your bubble. No shipped except the Holy Roman Empire and Chief Hetalia, Austria and Hungary, and questionably Jurita is canon. As for the people asking me which ship I would like to become canon, first of all, the whole, oh, we're not married, it's a partnership thing that's going on with Czechoslovakia and Litpol, I would like them to at least be canon married just because of consistency. Otherwise, I think you know what ship I would like to be canon. Okay, I'll talk about Australia and New Zealand. Australia will probably show up in the anime again. I mean, he's in other comics. I hope they do the Halloween special where it elaborates on him in New Zealand, or the comic where England introduces Australia to Canada. And I don't know why he isn't in the series much. Maybe because a cat-shaped rock is just more important, I guess. But I think it's a pretty good personification. The bandages idea is pretty cute, and he just needs a little bit more elaboration. And before you ask, yes, Vegemite did make it into Hetalia. It even made it into the anime. For New Zealand. Ah yes, the one that Hema teased over whether it was a girl or a boy, and it ended up still being male. But he's so adorable still, and he's such a great older brother. That Halloween comic is just really great. I suggest you read it. And do you have an opinion on Sufin or Dednor? I already talked about my opinion on Dednor. As for Sufin, even though I tend to not really like popular ships in the fandom, I really love Sufin.
Do you think the personifications for Pangaea, since he or she was a supercontinent for all of the nations?
Pangaea was more of a continent rather than a country. As we have seen, no continents are personified. Also, the oldest human fossil is about 14 million years old, and Pangaea was split up about 200 million years ago, so no. Since humans didn't exist, I'm pretty sure Pangaea did not exist either.
What do you think of some of the Heta games like Heta Oni or Roma Hetalia or Dangan Hetalia?
I follow a YouTuber that plays those games, but I haven't had time to watch any of them. I've heard of Heta Oni and Roma Hetalia, but not so much Dangan Hetalia. It would be nice if one of those games could actually be completed, though! Some countries have alternate names, but however, why do some countries with siblings have different last names? Russia and Belarus are siblings, but their alternative last names are different. Why do you think that is? I don't know, Hema! Why did you give all 3 Russia siblings different last names, even though you said they were blood-related? Do you have any art related to your Caucasian OCs? I drew some just for this Q&A. But remember, I'm not an artist anyway, and Azerbaijan is still not finished. Azerbaijan was originally male, but then I thought, if any Muslim-majority country has to be female, it has to be Azerbaijan because they're really progressive when it comes to women's rights. But something is missing. I want to give this character something that makes her unique. Also, I wanted George's hair to be more fluffier, but I don't know how to draw that in anime style. And I kind of had second thoughts about her design last minute, so I'm still not quite sure about it.
What do you think of the Magic Trio? I love them!
I can imagine them all playing Dungeons & Dragons in England's basement and then America walking in and thinking, what a bunch of nerds. But the Occult Club is pretty cool. Also, do you ship Bulgaria and Romania? No, they are one of my bro TPs. Do you think Sweden can see magical beings like England? Hema once said in a panel that Iceland can see them, Finland can't, and Sweden maybe. I think the reason that Iceland can see them is because he's directly related to Norway. I don't think it has anything to do with the Nordics in general.
What do you think of shipping a historical person with a nation, like Jeanne d'Arc and France or Elizabeth I with Britain?
I honestly don't like it, I kind of find it disrespectful, but that's my personal opinion. I don't really like Jeanne d'Arc being shipped with anyone because she's such a badass woman and I don't think she needs a man. I mean, I could see the one-sidedness on France's side, though.
What is your opinions on the Nordics?
What do you think about the Nordics? What do you ship? I love the Nordics, but not as much as I love the USSR and the Baltic characters, but they are very fun to write. Norway could have a bit more depth and character put into him, though, but that's just my opinion. As for who do I ship out of the Nordics, I really like Sufin. Why does America have some German blood? Because if you go to America, you will find that there are a lot of people that have at least somewhat German blood in them. A lot of German last names and customs are there as well, even though the majority of the Americans cannot pronounce their last names right. If Sealand is made of steel, are the other countries made of soil or something? Ah, good one. But the joke is that since Sealand isn't on actual land, and his entire country is made of steel, he is the unusual one, hence why it is a joke. I know Sweden is canonically gay, but do you think that Hema will confirm any other country's sexualities? As seen from my romantic relations video, some of these sexualities can easily be assumed, or at least the bi ones can. Maybe we'll get canonical evidence that Russia is gay soon, because pretty much everyone out of the main 8 has talked about women except for him. Well, and I think China. Also, do you think Sweden and Finland will ever actually go out? I don't think that Finland is noticing Sweden's feelings anytime soon. Who is your favorite Hetalia waifu/husbando? There are many. My first husbando when I got into Hetalia was Russia. I don't really have any anime crushes, but if I had to, my husbando would be Knights Templar, and my waifu would probably end up being Pontus.
What do you think about the Bad Touch trio or Bad Friends trio?
They're okay, I guess. I don't know, they never really stood out to me. Do you know any fun facts about Romano that most of the fanbase probably doesn't or ignores? That is literally most of my Tumblr blog. Here are some Romano character facts. Mafia has great influence and sometimes completely controls him. Even though he hates the Mafia, he is too scared to fight back. He thinks Spain only wants his grandfather's inheritance, and that is why he is so rude to Spain. He's a good pickpocket, he's shorter than his brother. He dislikes Germans and everything that is German. He hates eating foreign food, especially cheeses and potatoes. He got shot in the ass while helping Spain during his civil war. He cries tears of joy whenever he sees his grandfather. And he is only an asshole towards men. He is rarely friendly towards women. Your thoughts on Ireland? Preferably female. If Ireland were to get into Hetalia, what do you think England and Ireland's relationship would be like? I would like her to be female, and Hema says that he is leaning more towards a female character. And I would like a character with red hair. And I don't mean Italy red, I mean I am going to die in the sun red. As for her and England's relationship, I would see them fighting a lot. What is your opinion on Seaborga times Molossia? I find shipping micronations weird since they're so young. Kids, keep your clothes on!
Are you in any fandoms besides Hetalia?
Oh yes, I'm in a lot. To keep it brief, Homestuck, Steven Universe, and most especially Ruby are the ones I am most active in right now. Opinion on Kugelmugel? Also, what is your favorite Micronation character? Kugelmugel is probably my favorite Micronation. I got to visit him over the summer. Nico comes in close to us solely because he taught us so much about being a nation and becoming a nation. Lithuania and Belarus? That's surprising. What do you see in them? Not judging, just from a Litpol shipper. Oh boy, that question has a long answer. Well, I guess I find it cute how Lithuania is just so dedicated to getting her. I mean, she broke all of his fingers, and he's still smiling. That is either a guy who is really into BDSM, or that is dedication. And there's the whole Litbel SSR and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania thing. And the Litbel SSR is debatable since territories were messy at that time, but basically, yes, that was what it was called. Basically, before giving Lithuania independence, the Belarusian and Lithuanian SSR were combined into one. How I see it is Russia wanted to get his sister off of his back, so he married her off to another person that he considers his friend, Lithuania. It lasted for about 5 months. And guess who broke them up? He also took half of Belarus and Lithuania's capital, and then around this time is when Lithuania went to live with America. Someone write a fanfiction about this! Also in the CLAT desktop mascots, in Belarus's diary you may find the entry, played around with Lithuania and his strange sideburns. It is interesting to see what kind of faces he makes when I do such things to him. Interpret that how you may. Belarus is a very weird character. The countries are still very close today in real life and in the manga. It has always been my OTP, but I ship Litpol up almost as much. I don't know why, but I do. I guess it's because I can ship Lithuania all day with practically anyone. but I honestly can't think of a better person for Belarus than Lithuania.
What Hetalia female do you prefer?
Belarus is my favorite female character because her character is just so much depth into it. It may not appear so, but once you look more into her, it's really, really interesting. As for Neotalia, I think it's pretty obvious which one is my favorite. Would your top 10 annoying Hetalia characters still be annoying if they were girls? You once made a video about your 10 most annoying Hetalia characters. Would you still find them annoying if they were all girls? Portugal and Poland? No. Maybe Spain too, because again, I'm not quite sure why I dislike Spain. I just do. Latvia and Picardy would be even more frustrating actually, because Latvia has the tallest women in the world, and Picardy because... cat girls. What do you think of Jiripan? It's like Spain. I don't really like it, and I'm not sure why. I mean, it's a very plausible and fact-based ship, but like US, UK, and Pruita, it just doesn't give me that thrill. What micronation do you think should be made next? Maybe Liberland? This may be because of character bias, but Ujupis. I think this micronation has so much potential. It was founded on April 1st, so you can take that as you will and go as far as you want with that in general. And if you look at their constitution and architecture, you could really get a feel for their character, even though not a lot of people visit. And I think they would have a rather childish character. Also, I sincerely believe that this thing could actually give Lithuania a heart attack. What is your opinion on Rochu? It was my bro TP until I started developing a crush on my China cosplaying friend. Then I saw it in the ways that it can be shipped romantically, and now I love it. I must get my husbando to cosplay it with me next con.
Do you think Hetalia being a thing some people use to help study for a test on history?
Not the best idea. If you want to know good tourist destinations, then yes. But if you want to actually learn something, watch the Japanese dub. Do not rely off the dubbed English version if you want to actually learn stuff. The dubbed does not really have any educational content. The sub does, but I wouldn't use it as a replacement for your textbook. You still need to read your textbook. But with imagination, it should make it less boring. What are your favorite Hetalia character songs? Oh boy, that's hard. These are the ones that often get stuck in my head. Almost every France character song. Country Where the Sun Rises, Einsamkeit, Aya 4000 Years, Magi Kando, Unstoppable Passion, or Spain's character song. How about me and Carrots and Sticks? Why do some people think Pruken will be canon? They only interacted once. Read the comment section if you want that answer. I'm still trying to figure that out. It's on my long list of things I don't understand about Hetalia in the fandom. If Quebec was personified, then how do you think they would talk to and interact with countries, especially Canada? Do you think Quebec would be ignored by other countries, or like Sealand? Do you think Quebec would be a female or a male? Actually, there was a comic where Canada pictured a hypothetical Quebec as due to the divide in speaking differences in Canada. I will link to that comic below. I suggest you look at it. What do you think of Sealand? He's pretty cool, desuya. Do you have an opinion on Amelit? America times Lithuania. It is adorable and there needs to be more of it! Can you show us pictures of South Korea from the anime? I know he was removed from the anime, but in one of your videos, you had what looked like a screenshot of South Korea groping Japan. Are there any others? I'm not sure if this is fan-made or real, but this is Korea's anime design, and here are some places where they forgot to take him out in the anime. Do you think Romania is related to the Roman Empire? If so, why doesn't he have darker hair like the Italy brothers? Yeah, I think you are confusing Romania with Rome. They are two totally separate places. The name comes from the fact that Romania speaks a Romance language, even though they're surrounded by Slavs and Hungary. And they're kind of the oddball in the center of all the clusterfuck of ugly languages. Both may have a reputation for stealing wallets, crappy economies, and fascist dictators, but Romanians are not Romans. Also, remember that Romania was once called Wallachia. Also, where do you read Hetalia?
What website is best? I tried to find a good website, but all of them have different strips on the manga. Thanks. The Hetalia Archives is a nice and organized site. Or live journal, I guess, if you're searching for a specific strip. But if you want to read recent comics, I recommend Hetascanlations.
Will Israel ever make an appearance?
I think this is maybe because of all the controversy with Israel right now. I mean, why else do you think the Middle East hasn't been made, or most of the Middle East hasn't been made? There's a lot of conflict going on there, but then again, with all the conflict going on in North Korea, that doesn't stop Hema from brainstorming ideas.
Much like Prussia, Texas was a country for 9 to 10 years. So wouldn't it kind of be the same result as Prussia and Germany?
I recently learned that Maria did make a blog post about how America's states would be. I will link to that below because I am running out of time. I just found 2 ships that I want your opinion on. Americano, America times Romano, and Germano, Germany times Romano. I personally like Americano, but not Germano. Gireta. Anyways, thank you for answering.
Americano.
That's an adorable ship name. I may ship it just for that reason. As for Germano, I could see it if he decided to abandon his hatred for Germans, which he has declared numerous times.
Do you like hetero pairs, like yaoi or yuri pairs when it comes to Hetalia shipping?
My OTP is a hetero pair. I like both. I ship a variety of ships. Is Romano Venetiano's older brother or older twin?
I think he's just an older brother. Their birthday is reunification, and they celebrated together. But Romano is confirmed to be older.
Also no Pruhan.
While I like both, I prefer Pruhan. I like the theme of the underdog trying to get the girl. Female Hetalia countries, an endless source of blood. Would they have them every month like regular humans? Because that would be hell. And they live for very long. I mean, I would assume that they would have regular human menstrual cycles. They have human bodies. I doubt it would change if they were just because they're nations.
That is probably the reason why Himaruya made most of his characters male.
So he wouldn't have to answer this question. Is your favorite Hetalia character Lithuania?
If it is, I'm happy. Also, last question. Do you know if Bosnia and Herzegovina is in Hetalia?
Lithuania is one of my favorites, definitely, but not my absolute favorite. Bosnia is not in Hetalia yet. Do you think Bangladesh, Pakistan, or all the other South Asian countries should be added because of their relationship with England? The reason why I mentioned Bangladesh and Pakistan is because they sound like they would be female countries, and since I think both countries hate each other, they would make a cute rivalry, or a tsundere lesbian relationship. Do you agree? By tsundere lesbian relationship, I think you're referring to kismisitude. Oh wait, not everyone's a homestuck. Forgot about that. Anyways, Pakistan and India's relationship has been mentioned, so if Pakistan gets introduced, I think it would be in an India comic. Also, I don't know quite much about that side of the world. I'm currently studying India at my school at the moment, but I haven't learned much about Pakistan. So I can't really put my input on that, but I'm not sure about Pakistan being female. I have a feeling that Hema is going to make them male, because Hema is Hema. How do you feel about the Hetalia fandom as a whole? I used to think it was like one of the worst fandoms ever. And then I met the Steven Universe fandom. And then I felt grateful. But while the fandom does have its occasional weeaboos and its total nut jobs, they always make me smile. I am much more grateful for the fandom now than I have been before.
I want to know your thoughts on Estonia and Belarus. Also, what do you think of Canada and Ukraine? I also would like some tips on writing a fanfic involving Russia and Finland. And also, what do you think of Russia and Finland? Who do you ship with Finland out of curiosity? I ship Sufin, but every once in a while I will ship Estfin.
Ooh, love triangle. Yes. Anyways, I have never heard of Esbal before, so I don't really have many thoughts on it. I do think that Estonia needs more ships, though. He's just such an awesome character. But I do like Canada and Ukraine. It's pretty cute, and I have written it before. But have you heard of Estonia and Ukraine? I think that's an interesting ship that you might take interest in. I think Estonia would only go out with one of Russia's sisters after the Soviet Union, because during the Soviet Union, his primary focus is to stay alive. But how to write Rusfin? First of all, avoid the abusive relationship thing. So many people portray Russia's ships as abusive. Please don't do that. Make it two-sided. That was probably the best way to go. Also, when you ship these characters, remember that there are a lot of other people that are going to be obstacles in this relationship, and also going to make for good plot devices. You have Belarus that comes with Russia, but that's always a given. Normally when I am writing a Russia fanfiction, this is where I stick my Litbel, or in your case, Estbel. But Estonia is going to have a pretty big part in the story, since he has pretty close ties to Finland. Estonia is probably going to have his own major role in the story. If it is modern day, Estonia will probably straight out tell Russia to back off of Finland. If Estonia is still living with Russia at this point, he will only try to talk to Finland out of it because he fears for his own safety. But then you have Sweden. Oh boy. While Finland is unaware of Susan's feelings, he still sees him as a friend. But Susan doesn't really like people talking to his wife. Estonia thinks Sweden wants to kill him, but there is going to be a lot of drama with Sweden. And then you may have the rest of the Nordics that disapprove because everybody hates Russia and everybody loves Finland, and Finland will probably be like, but I love him! But that's just how I would write it. Hello, I don't know if this was asked yet, but has there been any confirmation on ASEAN by Hime and Hetalia? Nope. Just Thailand and Vietnam right now. Hi, I wanted to ask a question. When Hungary was just a small nation, she used to think she was a boy. Does that mean Neo-Hungary thought he was a girl? Perhaps, maybe, but Neo-Hungary is supposed to be more of a pervert kind of character, actually. So I could probably see him sneaking into the girls' bath when he was young, maybe. Wow, this is getting to be about 30 minutes long. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop this here. I'm sorry if I did not answer all of your questions, but leave your question below and I will answer it next time because I got a lot of questions this time. I'm really sorry, I wish I could have answered them all. And I'm sorry that I don't have a 3,000 subscriber special out. I'm sorry, I was working on it, but I just have a lot of videos I have to post this week, especially since April Fool's is coming up and I have a special video on that. Or a couple of videos, actually. Anyways, that was 1 mark higher on your history test. Thank you for watching Hetafax.